Hey you! Do you want to support NA League of Legends? Do you want custom emotes to spam in chat? Do you want to wake up and taste freedom? Sub to twitch.tv/LCS Challengers to salute the players and the flag!
Oh, this starts. Wait, what about the Canadian players?
Heck yeah, they're in too! Anyone can!
I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part, and you can too! Sub to twitch.tv/LCS Challengers to salute the players and the flag!
Salute the players, sub to the channel if you have the means, and of course half of that will go to the players. And a reminder that you can also buy tickets to come support the players live at the Riot Games Arena. They are on sale right now, so go get your tickets. Check out the Twitter account. There should be a link posted there. You can also check it out on the Riot Games website. We got live finals again! I know this was such a bummer in spring we didn't have it, but Mazel, I know you're pumped for this.
I'm so excited. It was different. Last split, all right?
It
just feels good that we get the space, we get to see the players, we get to hang out with the players, and we also have some really cool stuff lined up for the in-person event. So
true. And this time around, I won't break confetti all over Rafa.
I think you should.
In our place.
I think it should be a tradition. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it could be like the after party, right?
Yeah.
Like afterwards, we go there
now
and
we're
celebrate.
doing it LCS, so it's even better. We just
Yeah, exactly.
True, you know, LCS gets more mad when I make a mess of their
Yes,
studio,
they do.
which also has happened in the past. But, you know, we'll always have room to do better in the future. Speaking of, let's take a look at our Turtle Key Drive to talk about how impactful this moment was in the game, because it felt like Maryville still had a chance. It felt like this was the engage, and then heartbreak.
Why? Kangas, come on! You're supposed to be rooting for Maryville here.
Hey, baby, I am. But I want to throw this one to beat down because I felt like off of that play, that was the moment that MU could have maybe turned it and actually gotten the dragon for themselves, stopped the stacking, and start getting back into the game. But it was not meant to be. So that's why I considered it the key drive of the game, because, like, that was the pivotal moment, right?
Yeah, I mean, Zaligo literally ended the game with that play. No joke. Because how that's going in Maryville's mind is huge Magnet Storm, huge shuffle, and Scary Jerry is just free to throw feathers, pull them back, do all this insane damage, and wipe the team fight. And then that's really where Maryville would have found themselves back into it. But that getting shut down from the jump was what put the nail in the coffin.
And shout-outs as well to top lane, man. I mean, proxying as Gwen feels good, but Gangplank's like, okay.
He's like, oh, no, I
don't have to interact with you. I can just farm up,
When
skill up.
Zamudo walked up to Scary Jerry with that
The
Essence
1Q.
Reaver and did like 3/4 of his health
Nah, that was
like
dirty.
Yeah, it's insane.
Oof.
It's insane.
Oof. But you can tell that the Turtle Key Drive also had, that's where like the gold lead got out of control for Wildcard. They really ran away with it. They had the lead, but then ended with a 13,000 gold lead. Mazel, and now it's our time to get put on trial because we both believed in Maryville, and this game one was pretty rough. What were some of the positives that we can take away from the team, though, maybe looking towards game two?
Yeah, I think early on it was all about their cohesion, moving around that Rift Herald, the fact they got both Rift Heralds. The way that they kind of gave up the dragon was interesting to me. But I think still finding that key between Niles and Auto Orange will be also more important. We saw how chaotic that 2v2 in bot lane got. Zyko had some incredible engages, but just making sure you have things to follow up when Zyko sees the big play. You have to be all in together, and that's something we've known Maryville for in the past.
Exactly. And also shout out to Scary Jerry for getting early kills. You know, he did have a good 2v2 showing there. Something that we weren't necessarily sure, like, okay, which bot lane, or at least I wasn't sure of, which bot lane do I favor in the head-to-head. Impressive, Scary Jerry and Zyko.
There it is.
I want to keep the rhyme scheme going. Scary Jerry and Zyko were able to step up and answer that. So that is it for our Turtle Key Drive and the Turtle Key Drive stats. Now it's time for the Rally Cry halftime show, everybody. We're going to have a little bit of fun with this one because I'm not going to lie, I was cooking.
Cooking.
We had some completely different plan, but y'all kept talking about it. So we got to go for it.
Oh my God,
no, this isn't Coach Kiss. This is a new one. A brand new, introduced live on broadcast. It's Mechanicangus, baby.
Mechanicangus.
And what Mechanicangus is going to do is we're going to build a car for each of the teams.
Okay.
Because we said
Said
it.
to commit to the bit, right?
Odd Orange is the engine. I'm not even like correctly framed. We'll fix
Is
it
this
later.
what you think mechanics look like?
Absolutely, yeah. This is like,
you ever been
I
to a
feel like I'm
mechanic?
at that NASCAR. I'm going to go
Have
zip
you
zip.
ever
Oh, I
been to a
forgot to get the
mechanic?
drill gun.
He has.
I was going to get the drill gun. That's fine. We're going to build engines,
This is
or
F1.
rather cars, for the teams with each player as a specific part of the car. Simple
Are there
enough, right?
multiple wheels?
Or is
There,
it like
well,
one
okay,
person?
but the wheel, it's only one set of wheels.
Okay,
But, you know, in order to
But
get
then but
the
each
bit
car
going, I had
has
to do
two
it this way.
sets of wheels.
All right, so this is how we're going to do it. Beatdown, I'm going to let you choose the first one. Now, obviously, it's got to be the car frame, right? The car frame is the important part of the car. I'm going to drop me out of studio mode so I can do this more easily. So, who is the car frame? Now, the frame is the body, right?
Yeah.
The frame is what everything attaches to. It's kind of the core of the car, if we want to think of it that way. So,
That's how
who's
cars
the core
work.
of Maryville?
I'm actually going to say, because we've kind of already established the engine and the wheels, I'm going to say it's Get Back.
Get back.
Yes.
I like that. Mid laner actually kind of
Interesting.
works pretty well for a core as well. They are literally in the center of the rift, in the center of the team composition. Mazel, do you agree with this? You think get back's the body?
You know,
What are you thinking? What are you
gonna-
thinking?
If I was gonna say it's the body, it's got to be Odd Orange, right? Like I know you were saying he's the engine, but
Okay.
you know, we
Okay.
didn't have the context
Okay.
of also the frame in this
True.
situation when we were talking about just
Interesting.
the engine and the wheels.
Well, okay, you know what? I gave this one to Beatdown, so I'm gonna defer to
All right,
Beatdown.
all right,
But
all right.
Mazel, you will
Okay.
get the next one. Do you agree that we still want to go with the engine? Actually, from this point, you can pick whatever. I mean, we can just build the car
I have
from here.
freedom.
You have
Yeah,
freedom.
so we have an
Goodness.
engine.
Oh, I could
We
go
have
anywhere
two
with
wheels.
this.
We have a spoiler,
I
and we have a
could go
steering wheel.
Anywhere with
You
this.
could say
so
your-
I'm gonna go
You
straight
go anywhere.
to the part that matters. It's Odd Orange in the engine.
Okay.
Odd
See?
Orange and the engine. All right, we got the cool car too. The engine's on the outside, baby.
yeah, I
Look,
don't
look at how
think
good
that's
that
how
is.
works. But
Look at how good that is. I have no idea how cars work either, but you know, we're just kind of committing to the bit at this point.
Okay.
So Odd Orange is the engine. The reason that I like to talk about Odd Orange as the engine is because he oftentimes is the one that is making things happen everywhere on the map from the beginning. I know that last game, it was actually more Zyko and Scary Jerry in the bot lane, but in general, when we look at Maryville, Odd Orange is their leader, plays the top side more than a lot of other junglers, but he's the one that's making action happen, right, Beat?
Absolutely, and I mean, it has definitely been, he's been one of the biggest parts of this team. He, alongside Zyko, is someone who I didn't expect to be playing as good as they did this split, so it was really, I mean, it's cool to see that from both of these players. It's always nice. I'm always happy to be wrong when I think I've seen all I have from someone.
And you're up next. You got wheels, you got spoiler, you got steering wheel.
Can you put the wheels as one of the player's eyes?
No.
Wait, hold on,
yes,
he's
but
kinda
it's going to be
cooking.
terrifying. Why are you asking for this? No, I can't. It's behind it, and I'm too lazy to fix that.
Got the
okay.
layers wrong. Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that we'll do. Well, that's tough. I'm gonna say Scary Jerry is the steering wheel.
Scary Jerry is the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Okay, not the one that I necessarily expected. So why do you see him as the steering wheel?
Because I kind of think that even though the Maryville play a lot to top side and things like that, I think Scary Jerry actually is a big part of how they team fight. And when they win games, it is when they set him up to, succeed,
The only one
do
that's
damage.
actually in the car.
He's in the car. Well, I mean, yeah, he's the one operating the wheel, so I think that makes the most sense. All right, so Scary Jerry's steering wheel. Mazel, who do you have next? We got to go quick because we also have to do
I'm
this
going
for
with Niles
Wildcard.
as the spoiler because he picks things that look
Hey!
Oh.
All right, so spoiler, the style of the vehicle, the thing that gets the people's attention,
Yeah.
I
right?
mean, he does
You
have
know,
the unique style.
He does.
Niles
You
or
see a
something.
spoiler and you say, that's a car.
cool. That's
a car.
vehicle.
So my car doesn't have a spoiler. It's not a car. Is that what I'm getting from this?
not a car.
I
not
see.
a car like this
All
car.
this
Not
time
a
I've
you
been
have
driving
American
a
invisible
car.
spoilers, all right?
So that leaves
Oh.
us with Zyko as the wheels. I have called him the wheels in the past. I think that this actually makes a lot of sense. So here we go, everybody.
Wheels on the
If
car
we want to
go
use it
round
for
and round.
socials, if
They
we want to
do.
use it for the teams, I don't know what you want to do with
One
it.
of those
I
wheels
don't know
bigger
how I
than
do
the
this for
other?
wheels,
Hey,
actually.
how are you gonna do it? How are you gonna do
It
it,
looks
Kangas?
like he,
yeah, you gotta
know,
copy
he's gonna
his
be
photo.
one of the wheels. It's as simple as that.
Copy his photo. You gotta put two.
No,
of
no,
them.
no. I got it. It's a rear wheel drive car. So he's on the back wheel.
Thank you for saving my bit,
There
Beatdown.
you go.
Thank you for
It's an
saving my
obvious
bit.
sports car, which would mean it would be a front wheel drive.
All right,
No, a
we
lot
did
of
it for
sports cars are rear
Maryville.
wheel.
We only have about a minute left, so we're going to have to speed mechanic. This really is NASCAR now.
Okay.
We have
Oh,
to
no.
speed it down for Wildcard. Who's the body?
Oh,
Bodies.
God.
Saligo.
Sure.
Saligo!
Let's do it.
I love it. Who is the wheels?
The wheels on the bus go Lens.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Lens
Yeah.
also.
All right, we got Lens as wheels. Keep throwing them at me.
Zamudo's got to be the spoiler. Because he also has his own style. You know, he looks cool, does picks for
Oh,
the champions, the gang
I'm messing up. I'm messing up.
No, you're doing great,
who's
Kangas.
the
It's
spoiler?
okay.
The mechanic is getting behind the work.
No, this is perfect practice for NASCAR.
All right.
This is gonna be great. Who is the spoiler?
Zamudo spoiler.
the spoiler.
Zamudo. All right.
Keel
Look
is
at
the engine. Keel is
face.
the engine.
Keel is the engine.
Because he's
Keel's
what
the
makes
engine.
Wildcard go.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is so much harder to do than I thought it was gonna be.
Do you, B-Down, really quick, do you look at Kangas's face right? Do you see the stress?
I know. I can feel it. Like he's
Don't look.
struggling.
Don't look, it's okay. We're doing great. We're doing
All right,
great.
Don
everybody.
Bray's
So
obviously the steering wheel.
has
Obviously
to be
the
Don
steering wheel.
Bray.
Obviously, because there's so much.
Love that. Look at that. We made it just in time. Here
at
is.
that.
I didn't put the wild card symbol up there. It's fine. Here's the wild card.
We know it's
car. Wild card. Card?
Wild card car.
Wild card card. There we go.
The
With that
wild
pick and ban's
card.
ready
It's
for
the
game
wild
number 2. I'm
card.
going to throw it back over to myself. Beat that.
You
I
guys,
don't even know I
that's
can
us.
do this anymore. I don't like.
You gotta make it to finals, Lennon.
What just happened?
You gotta make it.
Anyways, we are getting into game number 2. I'm crying over here. And we have Maryville back on the blue
Wait,
side.
can I quickly
Wildcard
say-
on the red. Yes, what do you
Can I
got?
quickly say, I really love these bits where we take too long on one team, so we have to speed run
Every
another team.
time.
It's great. Like, remember Build the
Every
Challenger?
single time.
Oh, man.
Anyways, this is an all-important matchup for Maryville. They have
It
their
was,
backs
yes.
against the wall. This is an important moment for them in draft because we have said before, Wildcard attack you from every moment you're hitting the rift with them,
do.
as well as draft. So we're looking at this now. We get the Rel ban. We also get the Sejuani ban from Keel's first play. We also have that Tristana ban and the Maokai ban.
I don't think we're going to see much change in that first rotation. Maybe some attention to the Gangplank, but instead, okay, the Kai'Sa ends up being a good one. I mean, very powerful champion. I don't need to tell you why Kai'Sa's getting. It's strong. It's broken. The one thing, too, I want to highlight real quick. Maryville, this may be their last hurrah. If they lose, they are out of the tournament. But two things. I mean, one, first collegiate team who managed to not only compete in this league, but have also made it into playoffs after a really tough losing streak as well, if you remember that, Lennon. And also, because they made it to playoffs, we will see Maryville again next year in spring. So still,
That's the
pretty
beautiful
crazy
part.
that they made it this far.
That's the beautiful part, that they were able to make it to playoffs, and anything at this point would have been success. Obviously, they want to make it as far as they can, but here they have a chance to pull a reverse sweep, and they also reverse the table a little bit. We get the Rumble locked in for Maryville. We do have something open here that may be looking through here.
Come on. Come on.
Nah.
It's the Kindred. It's the Kindred.
There's
please.
no way.
It's
There's
so
no way.
good, bro.
It is so good, and it's
Okay,
something Keel
Zaya's
knows
also good.
also well.
Yeah, and you know what? The Zaya is a really important one, especially because you're dealing with the equalizers coming through. You're giving a lot of
They're
power
taking
picks
the
over to
Wildcard
Maryville. Oh my God, we're zooming through this draft.
Beat
here.
down! Beat down!
Talk to
It's
me.
happening! The conspiracy theory!
What's the conspiracy?
Wildcard, Maryville.
Oh my God, you're right.
Oh my God, they're turning. It's the same. It's the opposite teams.
Oh my God, this is literally what we've been trying to say. This is what people are talking about on Twitter. Maryville are playing what we see a lot from Wildcard, and the answers from Wildcard are what I'm curious about. Okay, I was wondering about the Akshan. You are that range into melee matchup. I'm super confident that's going over to Zamudo on the top side, and it should be able to give him a strong laning phase where we usually see Rumble be the one to dominate.
I am really excited for this one. First and foremost, you give Auto Orange a lot of power here. The double marksman comp from Maryville University, but also the flexibility of the Rumble. The X-Shot answer, though, a double marksman of their own. A lot of interesting, I feel like, ups and downs you can have in the laning phase, but something Wildcard are, again, looking to attack you with. You think you have this cool plan, you think you're taking away their composition, and they come out with something completely different. Get the Kazakhs, though, band away towards Keel, trying to take away some of those aggressive junglers. You also get that Nico band away against Maryville.
Yeah, it's worth noting, too, the Rel We've seen Keel play it. If that's something he wants to pick up, I think it's something they got to pick up on 4. Otherwise,
banned.
Oh, it is banned. You're right. Never mind.
banned.
Because what I'm talking about here is that Maryville, they need some kind of engaged champion here. You have a lot of damage. You have a really powerful core, but things like Nautilus is another good example that's been taken away by Wildcard, is how they need to round out this draft so that you can play the fronts of back that they're clearly looking to play for.
I want to see like the Leona or something come out here. I do like this focus from Maryville over towards Keel continuously. He was our 3rd front runner in MVP. We get another classic for Saligo and something he has destroyed teams with. It's the Lissandra locked in.
And he told me he was really excited about this pick in particular on the patch because of how much stronger it has become on 13, 14, and that Leona you were highlighting is being hovered. But we'll see. There's a lot of things that could come out here for Zyko. But
there we go. Let's
front
go.
line is what I'm hoping for here. And the last question is, what's going on for Get Back? I'm just saying, Galio would go crazy.
Galio would be
Throwing that out there.
That's
It would give you the front line. It works well with Kindred. He's really good into the side lane with the ultimate, you know? Come on.
I think it'd be really interesting if it was the Rumble mid for Get Back and we saw something
That's also possible.
For the top side of the map. But until Lissandra, I feel like you do have to have some answers in the mid lane and some pressure there. The Syndra does have that scaling aspect, but also we saw Saligo be such a detriment to Maryville last game on the Syndra itself.
And okay, so it is going to be that mid jungle combo there with the Lissandra Viego. So not very tanky necessarily, but they have that all in for Wildcard, a lot of movement abilities, and it's a lot of burst that they're hoping for here. You're making plays, especially for this mid jungle, to get heal resets. He's had some insane performances on this Viego pick. And with some of the early game power you have from Zyra Khan, I imagine we're going to see more attention onto that bottom side of the map, much like we saw in Game 1.
I do really like for Maryville, though, the team fight setup they have, but also a lot of the forward strength they have.
Yeah.
The utility out of Scary Jerry on the Varus will be super big, but the amount of like long-range lockdown they have is exactly what I'm looking at.
Absolutely. I imagine this is going to be the Poke Varus comp coming through. You still have double marksman. You scale really well into that late game, and you have a lot of damage from range that Wildcard need to worry about. Now it's Wildcard who need to get the ball rolling early this game.
They do. Yeah, I think when you look at the way these teams have had their seasons go out, it's been some roller coasters of a ride. And Maryville University, they have their backs against that proverbial rope right now in our boxing match between Maryville and Wildcard. Wildcard came up with that first round win very, very strongly. We'll see if Maryville can come back in this one. And I think when we look at them throughout their season, they started in a really rough place. They started 1-5, coming off a collegiate championship fight that they lost. They came back with a resurgence in the mid-split and then had that very rough slide at the end. It has been up and down, but this is a team that has shown grit and has shown heart at the right moments.
This is going to have to be that moment. The ref did not call the fight in Game 1, Mazel, and Maryville hoping to take that opportunity to get some swings back here and not go down 0-2. Wildcard, again, the ones with that early game power here. We saw them dominate early in Game 1, despite having that better scaling composition. So now they have this agency. Now they have a lot of tools to play with in these early levels. It's Maryville who will have to limit what they lose in these first 10-15 minutes.
I think as we do get into it, make sure you're spamming in chat who you think is going to win. ME for Maryville, WC for Wildcard. But I also have a very important question. What is the double soul reset comp called? Because I've had struggles with it. But you got the Viego, you got the Lissandra. We got to think of something. That we have to come to an answer by the end of this game.
Okay, what do you mean when you say double soul reset?
Because you have the thralls whenever
Lissandra
Lissandra kills.
right.
And then you've got the Viego who has the souls whenever you kill somebody. So you got the double souls.
Okay. I'm gonna come back by the end of this game.
Souls reference?
Yeah, maybe. By the end of this, I'll have an answer for you, Lennon.
All right.
I'll let you know.
That works. So we'll check back in. Maybe we can get Kangas in here on breaking news reporting. But the thing we focused on last time around, especially, was the early focus of both junglers. I think this time around, we do see both junglers taking the same path, and it's towards top side, where you already have a ton of volatility.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to see where they're going to meet up here. actually we're going to see a fight for the Scuttle Crab. Because right now, you got to imagine Keel and with his mid laner trying to push for Prio. Oh, hold on. Okay, it's chill. Lissandra things.
Lissandra things, no big deal.
But that pressure is actually going to be pretty important for the Scuttle fight. And Odd Orange does use up a bit of his time during his clear. He has the information that Keel went for the Raptors. So Keel will have that level 4 on him here. It's going to be about whether or not Saligo can get that wave pushing back, as Get Back currently has him against the ropes, if you will, by having that wave under the turret. And all the better if that first mark for Kindred spawns topside.
You're hoping for RNG right now for the Saints. You're also hoping for a little bit of reprieve for Niles. We'll finally get some of this farm under his turret. It's going to be a little harder to grab, though. Zamudo and Keel will look for the aggression. Odd Orange taking the aggressive clear of trying to get both at the same time. He'll have to jump over the wall, forced out of his own jungle.
Yeah, really nicely done there. Keel was looking for that W flash. Oh, hold on.
Ooh, 2v2 bot lane. That's what we were talking about last game, too, with some of that volatility. Not only at the top side, but down here as well. Now we're looking for the Rift Herald pit. And Zamudo's trying to put out some damage, but ends up flashing away. The rest of Wildcard back away from the skirmish-heavy comp of Maryville.
And it's huge. Maryville not only answered the skirmish and forced them out, it looks like RNG was in favor of the Saints, or Odd Orange did pick up his first mark on the Scuttle Crab. It's a good start here for Maryville University when they're 0-1 and 1 game away from having their year in North American Challengers end.
You gotta find a way to make everything stick. Speaking of Get Back and Saligo, trying to make something stick in mid lane. We still have not gotten a first blood. We had early fighting up towards this top side and in our 2v2 bottom side of the map. But it actually looks like Keel will end up winning out on that Scuttle Crab reset mark spawn. As Dragon coming up was something that Wildcard heavily prioritized in game number 1.
Yeah, and you can see that bot lane pressure that they have with Scary Jerry getting his flash forced out early. I mean, Zyricon, really strong duo in that early game. And something that I'm sure Wildcard are looking to leverage to Dragon Stack. You see the reset coming through. Lens and Dawnbray are a little faster, and with the pathing they're going for, I wouldn't be surprised if they go straight towards that first rig, especially given that Wildcard are the ones who need every advantage they can get come late game. That makes the Dragon Soul much more important than it was in game 1.
And I think the lessons learned might be something to harken back to, especially with the way that Wildcard moved around the map. I still look back at that game 1 in little moments for Maryville, especially around the Rift Herald, where they were able to bring, Niles, Odd Orange, and Zyko together to really make something happen, even Get Back getting in there sometimes. But it needs to continue to be that way, because Maryville are a team that thrive when they find advantages, when they find leads. But it always becomes question mark pings if they do not.
I mean, this game, it's not even as big a deal, because when we talk about... Oh, hold on.
Little action, a little scuffling down here. Some punches being let loose in the boxing ring.
It's an opportunity for Odd Orange to go for a gank. There is vision, so with all summoners being up except for Dawnblade's flash, it should
Flash
be
from
okay.
Zyko, though. They get the Zenith Blade. Lens will end up burning his flash and cleanse. Odd Orange goes for that angle, though, and he gets some first blood for Maryville, followed quickly by a second one. Can Wildcard get something back? Get back. Too good with the moves.
Nice little sidestep coming through means that not only does he not flash, Wildcard get nothing for the double kill going over to the Kindred. This early game falling apart already there for Wildcard. I thought they would have been able to get away, but instead it's Lens with no summoner spells, and he still ends up dying. As a result of this, Maryville very happy with that one.
He still hasn't gotten a mark, though, even with those 2 kills. 2 kills will be great. You got the Hearthbound Axe. You get back onto the map, see if you can skirmish with Keel a little bit. That's good. A little bit of a health trade there. Should be able to get some back. Zamudo coming here, has that heroic swing. Immediate flash from Keel. Trying to get over to Saligo. There is that equalizer. No. And a flame spitter flash from Niles ends up picking the kill onto Kill. And now we have Odd Orange going on a killing spree from Zamudo. An incredible move. And this is that extra cohesion we wanted from Maryville.
And it's off Zyko getting that roam timer, getting off on the map faster than Dawnbray. And it is that ability to get the angle here is what forces Keel to flash. And he's not like he flashed over a wall. He just flashed for distance. So there was plenty of time for Niles to clear that top wave, move into this fight. and get an overwhelming victory in the skirmish for MU.
That's such a good equalizer too, just cutting off a little bit of that section, able to get that flash play onto kill as well. No escape possible.
No, and this is a fantastic start to game 2 for Maryville University. Remember, late game is your friend here, and we're already seeing examples of how hard it is to fight against Maryville's composition, because truthfully, you're outranged. With Niles dropping these equalizers from several screens away, and Get Back playing the Syndra, you have Scary Jerry who is going the Poke Varus like we were alluding to in draft. You have to close so much distance before you're actually able to threaten the members of Wildcard. And by the time you do so in a lot of these situations, you might find yourself losing all your health.
We do have level 6s coming up and a lot of presence from Maryville towards this bottom side. Dragon could be in their purview here. Will be spotted out though by Donbray on this roam. If he can get himself out of that one, a little bit of trouble. He's not level 6 yet either. Zyko on that roam now as well. They're just trying to move this unit here because they realize they can keep Scary Jerry and Lens down. And Rift Herald actually might be the real play here for Maryville as pings are coming out.
You called that advantage. Zyko has level 6 over Donbray, has access to the Solar Flare. And I mean, with how strong Odd Orange is, has almost 2/3, or rather has almost all the components of that Trinity Force. He's very strong, very accelerated. You have to let this one go as Wildcard. But this is the struggle bus. So far, Maryville have made a handful of successful plays, Lennon, and for each and every one, Wildcard have been unable to trade. For a comp that needs some gold in their pockets right now, it is looking a little doomsday. Just a little.
Or if you're the Saints, it's looking a little heavenly here. Because Maryville are, one game loss away from having their season end. They needed to step up here. We were asking, where was that going to come from? Is it the engine of Odd Orange, or will it be the steering wheel / wheels of Scary Jerry Zyko? Right now, it's Niles, the focus. The spoiler is getting knocked down by a Wildcard, but it is something where Maryville from ahead do have a lot of constricting factors to the way they play the game.
Now you see Heels in the river. He's got to understand that Scuttle Crab does not belong to him. He's going to have to go ahead and walk away. We have teleports unleashed. So now that is another advantage that Maryville has over Wildcard in the fact that Zamudo on the lane dominant Akshan took Ignite. No teleport means there's a lot more possibility for Niles to make these cross map plays. He can't get his TP canceled because there's no CC in Zamudo's kit.
True.
So there is just a lot going for Maryville at this point. And it means that Wildcard are going to struggle to not only trade for objectives, but just trade at all when they lose something.
About 10.5 minute completed Infinity Trinity Force at least.
That's kind of scary.
And I think that right now for Odd Orange, he can continue moving, right? Zyko has constantly been on the roam. Their Dragon has not been a big focus in this game, right? It's been up for almost 6 minutes, but Rift Herald is on, and that just means you have a lot of pressure that you can put out on the map for Maryville.
You don't care about Dragons as Maryville. I mean, the fact that Wildcard haven't taken the first one in this long is so good for you as well.
Oh, Saligo locked down. We'll have to use that Frozen Tomb. Trying to get out, though. Zyko takes a tower shot. There's that Lamb's Respite. Saligo burning. He'll go down to Zyko. My goodness, this man just gets those fadeaway kills. And we see Maryville with a 5th kill of the game.
And again, no response. You don't get the opportunity to drop the Herald, but that Lamb's Respite came in so clutch, and you still force Saligo off the map. And I mean, Saligo, they were on Vision, man. He knew and was still caught out and ended up falling, which just gives more advantages to Maryville University. And I mean, look at the gold lead they're sitting on right now. You called it out. Odd Orange has that mythic built up, and it's such a big spike for the Kindred. He's very strong on the map right now. Odd Orange, very happy to just throw his weight around in this mid game.
Yeah, and that's the power that a double marksman comp from ahead can do as well. You're not even at those big scaling moments, but you can still have so much strength. And I'm very interested at the Duskblade first item for Scary Jerry down there. That Lethality Varus coming through in this game number 2. But it is still moving now towards that Trinity Force completed for Keel. So nice little response from Wildcard.
Now even MU, they have the option to go for this Drake, but instead they are still looking for a Herald play. And it seems like mid is still what they are setting their sights on. But some good vision from Wildcard has made their approach known. And they're just going to go ahead and go for a different route, Len. And the problem is, Lens is by himself. And I don't think Wildcard have yet caught on into what they're trying to do.
Ooh, that's a little bit of trouble, though. Get back, face check in that bush, and he'll just die as his soul becomes Keels. We're looking bot side. Amy, you were trying to make a play on the Rift Herald bot, but this is a bit of trouble here. It will not be a big engage available from Donbray. Zenith Blade goes wide from Zyko. Gotta be a little bit more careful. Grand entrance as well, locked up as now Solar Blade dodged out of TP coming in from Maryville. They want to take this fight as you got that lethality. Varus chunking away too. The equalizer has been burned, but Maryville will burn the backsides of Wildcard.
It is still big that Wildcard weren't able to lose too much. The Herald drops. They make it so that Lens doesn't get dove and has to use summoners, use his spells. But still, we're seeing that teleport advantage while trying to make these cross-map plays. Niles will always be able to answer. And
Lens wanted it, and he brought Donbray away with him. Ooh, Scary Jerry with the outplay, though. That Dust Blade stroke.
Dude, like the lethality bear is so strong. And the fact that it gives you that invulnerability, you're not playing into tanks. So, of course, you don't even need to think about things like the Eclipse. It's so hard. You go for the 2v1 and you end up losing. Props to Scary Jerry for making this happen.
Really good stuff, right? This has been something we've wanted to see from Scary Jerry. This guy is an incredibly talented mechanical mid laner all the way from the way that he's come into it for Maryville. He has been that very, very lane-focused, dominant player.
And to his credit, even in this game, even in game one where they ended up losing, still was dominant in that laning phase. This time around, though, benefits Maryville even more, as now you're seeing these lane assignments switch up a little bit. Really, the only thing Wildcard have going for them is that Niles, he dropped a lot to go for that TP play bottom, so Zamudo was able to collect plates. He's likely going to get first brick, but if Zamudo can't be part of these team fights and actually use that gold, Lennon, it doesn't matter.
Tempo Gaming will always be there for Wildcard if they want to get those resets there. But it's something they're going to have to utilize in getting into this, too, and find a way to get Zamudo to be a part of these fights. We did get that first dragon at almost 15 minutes for Maryville, so that won't be the big stacking objective for them. But Keel constantly looking with this Saligo combo, and this is something you talked about in draft as well. This combo has been so lethal, but it's also being piloted by Saligo, has had such a good resurgence, and Keel, who is our third MVP runner-up.
Right, and these two have that opportunity where if you use that Frozen Tomb, not on yourself as Saligo, but onto, whatever target you please, Keel can get the drop on them and start resetting. And that's the most important thing with Wildcard's composition. Get these kills so Keel can start to carry with that Viego passive. But right now, Wildcard, there isn't much they've been able to do at the moment here. Niles, he's staying off the map because he is very concerned about the fact that his jungler is on the opposite end of it. So even though he's losing out a little bit on gold and CS, again, you're limiting the responses here from Wildcard. Not able to pick up any kills, have only had one this entire game.
Yeah, it is a little bit rough. Odd Orange did get a nice response with another Rift Herald. So that's actually complete Rift Herald focus from Maryville in this series so far in both games. We'll see if they can utilize that for even more gold, but you see Niles still playing so scared because of the way that Zamudo can approach the lane.
Yeah.
And we'll see how he can actually get that side lane tower, though, for Get Back.
And you can see the response there. And the fact that Get Back had free reign on this turret because both solo laners were on the bottom side looking for that play. Wildcard, they're sacrificing a lot because they know they need something going for them right now. You're seeing one item spikes come through here across the board for Wildcard. So when it comes to stats, there are still opportunities for them to win fights, especially around that dragon that's spawning in a couple of minutes. But we still got to worry about how these comps interact. Maryville have such a huge range advantage that they're continuing to just take advantage of.
Yeah, it becomes a little bit more difficult to navigate as well. We are getting those level 11s coming up, but Odd Orange looking for Zamudo in the side lane could be a big shutdown. He is very, very slippery. He makes it out.
So it's going to be easy. It's going to allow Niles to clear this wave and just continue to give Maryville control over this bottom side. The fact is, for the moment, Zamudo's got a lot of gold in his pockets. isn't able to really do anything with it, Lennon. And that's going to continue to be a problem for Wildcard if they can't take advantage of what's honestly an overwhelming lead. I mean, you look at the CS, remember Zamudo got first brick, like he's really fed.
It's been a bit of fluctuation of a lead for Maryville. They do use that Rift Herald mid lane. Soligo just going for it. There's that combo you were talking about. Lamb's Respite, though, buys so much time for Maryville. Come up and comes firing across, but look at Niles and Get Back with the combos from the solo laners. Get Back says you can't forget about me, baby.
And that's the fight. That was the best look Wildcard had, but they couldn't burst Odd Orange before he dropped the ultimate. And because of it, that's just more gold for Maryville. Every time Wildcard goes for a play, it just hasn't been working out for them. And there's the perfect chance for Maryville to get more gold.
We were talking about how scrappy this series had the possibility to be. They could not get him, and that's because the Lamb's Respite literally does exactly the opposite of what you want.
No, I gotta give Scary Jerry the shout out there. He actually landed the perfect ultimate to stop Dawnbray from getting the grand entrance. Had he gotten it, that would have been the kill on Odd Orange before he ulted, and it could have been the start of the reset. That is actually the one single play that could have gotten Wildcard back into it. So I really want to give Scary Jerry props for that.
This is a guy coming all the way from Converse University, right? I think it has been a really cool come up for a man who talks pretty confidently about himself, but has shown also, at least in a lot of the grittiness, a lot of that comeback in the season for Maryville, that he can be that main carry.
He's had a lot of impact on this game. Out of the 10 kills, he's been part of 7 of them. Of course, the highest KP is Odd Orange, the engine for Maryville University. And man, are they driving places? Are they going places, Lennon? Because now they're up 5K, and we've seen time and time again how these comps interact and how overwhelmingly in favor it is of Maryville University. Wildcard are now the ones who have to go for some insane mechanical outplay if they want to come back.
We were talking about so much how Maryville do look good when they have an advantage. They do have a direction when they have a little bit of pressure control in the map. And this is one of those situations. This is where you see the bright points of Maryville.
Oh, we're seeing pings on the top side of the map. I mean, they're pinging the Baron likely on the side of Wildcard to set up vision so that MU just can't start it. Maybe taking advantage of the fact that Dragon is something they want to go for. But a 20-minute Baron is so dangerous there. You have 2 marksmen. Still, you really want to pick.
Zyko. They really wanted to get him. Zyko able to stand the test of Wildcard. Means Wildcard wasted a little bit of time. Won't be able to go for that Baron.
Yeah, I mean, they did nothing. They didn't have the damage for it realistically. It was just about making space so Zamudo would be safe. But this is tough. Maryville have done a good job of making it so Wildcard, I mean, they can't trade for anything. This whole game, everything Maryville has got, every punch they've thrown Mazel, not a single one answered or countered by Wildcard.
Reservation, I feel like, has been the name of the game, right? Niles has been playing so well in the side lane into an Akshan who can be so finicky to play into.
Yeah.
And I think that has been a big, breathing room for Maryville in this game number 2, but it's also been an enabler, right? Those equalizers are so big in these team fights, and now you're getting to the point where Maryville can just start throwing their weight around, kind of like you were talking about for Odd Orange earlier.
I mean, they can throw their weight around the Baron right now. They're so strong. Walking into them is so hard because of the poke and range. Like, all they really need to do is maybe threaten the Baron and see if Wildcard will walk into them, pick up some kills. They don't want to go for the 50-50, so even if they start the Baron, I imagine they're going to play for the turn. But this is well within their right, Lennon.
Well, they are going to take that, right? They're going to start it up. We'll see if Wildcard wants to get in here and stop anything from going down. You got the Scryers coming through there. You got to see if Keel can get a magical steal. Again, game number 1, he actually had some really, really intense takeaway moments in those big fights around objectives. That third dragon in particular. Now, MU were just baiting Wildcard, and they do get the TP from Soligo.
And that's huge. Remember, Wildcard, they only have 1 TP to play with. So now Soligo, he's backing, and he's looking to go back to the side lane. Maybe try and pick up that objective bounty. And you see Maryville, they're not even recalling. They're waiting, an acceptable amount of time. They're going to clear vision. And guess what, Lennon? They're going to do it all again.
They're just waiting for Keel. Line up all three members
they
coming
come!
across. Keel, you might get out. That Heartbreaker was huge with the flash combo.
And you can see it, all of Wildcard are on this top side, but look who's bought. Niles, he has the teleport again. This advantage continues to pay so much dividends here for Maryville. And now we're just going to be in that same boat, Ledden. They're going to threaten to start the Baron. And if things get too hairy, Niles is going to show up.
Yeah, lane needing to be responded to in the bottom side as well. I wonder with a little bit of this vision play. Solar Flare comes
Really
through.
nice
Keel
ult.
did not expect it, and he has no way out. You can't play like that if you're waiting for Maryville, and they take it. They'll take this Baron too.
I gotta say respect to Maryville. They want to make sure there's no chance of a 50-50. Why not remove the smite from the equation? And it means that Maryville are gonna add a Baron buff to their back pockets and 1,500 gold up front. Maryville are running away with this game.
Round one, they might have been asleep, but round two, they are fully alive and awake as the Turo Baron buff capes over Maryville University. It has been a dominant resurgence from them in this best of three. 6,000 gold in the lead. Yes, it's Lake Dragon stacking, but they already have 2 of those in their pockets, and their team comp is just now getting to the edge here with this double marksman that it becomes even scarier when you hit those 3 items.
What an important comeback for a team that barely eked it into playoffs in the first place. Was struggling in the back half of this split, is getting rolled in the first game of the series. For them to be able to get these powerful picks for Niles and Odd Orange and to be able to just run the map with them is such a great thing to see. Because, Lennon, I'm gonna be real with you, I'm smelling a game 3 right now. Like, this is so hard.
It's all to be expected, man.
It's all part of the plan.
It's literally what I would have expected coming into this one. Maryville and Wildcard, they do have a lot of grit to their fights in the way that they skirmish, the way that they go back and forth with teams. It has been a consistent factor. Niles going to go back and forth with Keel and Zamudo, won't actually be pressured, and pressure is now Maryville's in the top side.
That's right, you can see it. Maryville just playing more for this top side of the map. As soon as Niles was forced out, it gave them the space to just go ahead and knock down this tier 2 turret. They're just stacking more paper into their back pockets. And even though Dragon's up, about 30 seconds time, you're not that concerned about it.
Oh, that was a little close. Zamudo will get out of that one with a heroic swing.
And we'll get some honey fruit. It's chill, but really, Wildcard are still the ones in dire straits. They can just keep knocking down these turrets. They might have a pick. This would be good.
Yeah, a little bit.
So
Zyko. Oh, Lamb's Respite comes out the last second there just to make sure Zyko wouldn't go down.
You see how much damage Donbray took from one charged up Q from Scary? Look at that. Like, you're so heavily outranged. It's so hard to play. And Donbray might be the luckiest man alive because he was inches from getting that heat.
The man is stoic, standing there in the heat of the flames. It'll be Wildcard getting this dragon, though. It'll be first dragon for them. It was a tier 2 that Maryville were able to get in the mid lane, though.
And now all that's left, as far as turrets outside of Wildcard's base, it's that bottom tier 2. I mean, Baron buff, only 20 seconds left, so you're not going to get that empowered push, empowering the minions. But you still have a huge gold advantage to play with here. And you got some insane item spikes coming through. And Scary Jerry, who's been having a great game too, sitting on item number 3. Get Back almost has the death cap, which is huge for Syndra, as I imagine he's gotten all his Syndra bucks cashed in as well.
It's
You know, I'm
looking
tired of beating
rough.
around the bush. I'm tired of beating around the bush, Lennon. Game's done. It's over.
I mean, it's
I can't
11
do
to
this
1
anymore.
and 26 and a half minutes
You know what I
in.
mean?
It's getting a little close, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I will say there's some fight left for sure for Wildcard. They did just get their second item for Saligo, but it depends on how Maryville, but now more than ever, Odd Orange wants to continue pressing this. We're seeing them focus this tier 2 tower on the bottom side.
Which, you're going to see all of Wildcard try to defend it. This 5v5, this is Wildcard's last chance, realistically. Remember, a burst kill onto one target. That sucks. Heal needs a kill. You get him a reset, especially if it's someone like Zyko. That's the way.
Get back.
Oh my
This
God,
bush
damage.
does. You aren't friends with that bush. I'm just saying you need to stop because that bush hates you. He goes down yet again to a face check. We'll see now. Wildcard trying to pounce. Dawnbreak goes way overneath. And that is Maryville that say thank you for the kill.
I will say, Scary Jerry, he used his ultimate. The cooldown is disgustingly short, but there is a window where you could go for something. The Wildcard, you're going to take the shutdown. The 1-for-1 heavily favors them. And now Zamudo, he's using the going rogue. He's looking for something. This is good. Wildcard, they can't be done yet. They need more if they want to come back.
Zamudo. Oh, Zamudo. Oh, it's a little bit scary. Heroic swing beautifully used there actually to get around the corner. And it's mid lane outer. That will be Wildcard's bounty.
That is a nice chunk of change they get into their back pocket. And we're seeing small examples of how Wildcard can actually win out team fights. They need to get the drop on someone, layer the CC, but Heal needs to get involved in those kills. Then he can possess. Then he can turn them into more. Then we can maybe see Wildcard come back. But Maryville, they're only going to give you so many chances, Lennon, to actually let that happen. The Wildcard, their window's closing.
I was talking about those third item spikes a while ago. Now we have fully hit those for all the carry members. We just got Black Cleaver there for Auto Orange. We did get that Rabadon's or Get Back, and we already had that Shrill. Grudge for Scary Jerry for a while now. So now back on the map goes Maryville with a Baron in about 40 seconds. Dragon off for 2 minutes, so a little while till they can look for picks, things like that between the times.
Yeah, you can see it. Wildcard no longer really pushing out these side lanes. They're playing to group. They're playing to see whatever that they can catch. And it's necessary because you can see topside, the vision is so good there for Maryville. It's going to take everything Wildcard has to actually set up any vision of their own right now. You got to do this, man. You got to look for something crazy.
Oh, my goodness. All right, Maryville see him now, though. He will not be in the going rogue. Keel's on the other side. Oh, my goodness. They actually found him. Get Back goes down. That's the only target that they've been able to kill this entire game. Keel's not getting out of this one. He has no flash, no exit, and Auto Orange goes unstoppable.
And that's a 2-for-1 in favor of Maryville. They pull the trigger on Keel as soon as their team gets engaged on in the mid lane. And even though you lost Get Back, it's an easy Baron start. There's no Smite Steal coming through here, but Wildcard, this could spell the end of the game. They have to try and stop it.
Zamudo on the side. He doesn't really have much. Saligo goes in. You got the Ring of Frost with that Frozen Tube combo. Lens with the Blade Collar could be big. They actually might find a little bit here. Zamudo is getting hit by the Baron. Come up and his big Auto Orange shut down in the Reset City. Comes through. Keel Tempo Gaming back on the map.
Wait, this could be insane. You have both your marksmen up. The jungler has been revived. Look at the spawn timers on Odd Orange and Zyko. This is Wildcard's last chance. They have to rush this Baron right now, Lennon. And if they get it exactly, they have everyone back on the map. This could be the window in, and it was in a 3 versus 5.
Dude, the combos here. Saligo leading it all up, but Len's waiting for the Blade Color until he could get all the members. Zamudo flashing out there, but the come up is skirting around the edge right there. Can't get behind him.
I'll tell you what, Saligo did so much in that fight, from buying time, from getting the roots, from making space for his team. And now it's Wildcard, who picked up so much gold and the Turo Baron buff. The fact that they got a dragon means this won't be Maryville's soul. And we're seeing signs of life. I may have called it too soon, Lennon. I'll happily eat my words.
Yo, boxing matches, they have all the rounds you could ever ask for. And I'm thinking we're seeing a little bit of a comeback from Wildcard here. I will say things are not exactly going their way, but the fact that they were circling an almost 7,000 gold deficit, now we're within 1,000, feels real good for the Wildcard fans out there.
Not only that, there are a lot of outer turrets Wildcard can play for. If they find a pick, if they make a play, that's even more gold back into their pockets. Don't misunderstand, this is still really hard 5v5 for Wildcard to play. The fact that they were able to clutch out that 3v5 is what made this even possible. Lennon, we're still looking for the same things here. Keel needs a takedown. He needs to possess somebody's soul, and they need to reset him and Saligo so that Wildcard can win this game that they were so far down in.
Maryville feeling a little bit hesitant here now, as everything going to be used on the Lens. That was the equalizer plus the solar flare. We'll be missing some of those teamfight ultis in a little bit, but that Siege actually doesn't work out the top side, it does work in the mid lane as Saligo gets a tier 2.
I'll tell you what, Baron buff's still up for another minute. You don't have those ultimates anymore, Lennon, so this next wave is coming through, and another tier 2 is going down. That's
My
almost
goodness. That's the lead.
It's neutral.
That's
the
it.
lead is gone. It was 7,000, like you said, and Wildcard have managed to clutch it back in.
This is the way that Wildcard find miracles, right? This is a team that has been at the top rung of our developmental seed since they came in and made the splash.
Yeah.
We saw them have such fightbacks last split, and in this split it was no different. There were some trials and tribulations. You even heard Saligo talk about it earlier, but it is Wildcard who never stopped.
And I'll tell you what, Saligo really went into depth when he talked about the issues he thought they went to, but he also said this was their patch. He felt good about their chances. He was really excited about this Lissandra. He's been so big on it this game. Again, a big part of that 3v5 we just saw, but now eyes are on the Dragon Soul. 2 minutes, 40 seconds. It's going to be up almost a minute before the next Baron comes through. And that is what Wildcard are looking to prevent. In fact, Wildcard, if they somehow get to a soul against the range and poke that MU have, it would be phenomenal for them.
And you cannot forget that this is a do or die game for Maryville University. If they lose here, they are done for the summer split. We will not see them again until next year. While that is great, it is still something that Maryville do not want their season in here. They made it to playoffs. They want to have some fight. They want to win a game.
These are competitors at the end of the day, Lennon. They want to go as far as they possibly can. Losing here when you were so far ahead would be disheartening. Maryville, they still have ways to play, and they close it out. Is that question?
Not able to capitalize on Niles not having his flash. That was a really big effort from Wildcard with that quickness burn too.
Yeah.
It's not going to be up for a little while. Luckily, no objectives like you were saying, kind of in that downtime here. Wildcard just searching for what they can find as much as possible. What I find hilarious is they found one wound in this whole setup, and it was get back, and they just kept picking at it. And now at that point, it's just a blood flow.
Right, and you can see it. Maryville have been bleeding. The fact is, they're not actually doing very much to fix the map because a lot of these lanes are pushing towards them instead of the other way around. They are too afraid of getting caught out the way they have been these last couple of minutes here. And that fear is actually giving Wildcard the ability to set up vision. Look at all across the map pretty much. You can see they have a pretty solid amount set. Maryville, they're set on more of the defensive kind. Exactly. They're trying to hold it down, but this gives Maryville that opportunity to move first for this Drake. Remember, this is the soul for MU.
Cleanse, having to burn that cleanse. That
no
would have
solar
been,
flare, though.
Yeah, that is big, but Saligo can't get caught out either by Niles. That'll be the equalizer, cutting off his exit. Flash through from both of them, and he's just trying to push him away from the fight.
Saligo back. Saligo has to back right now. If he TP's back, that's 2 big team fight ultimates out. I think Maryville are starting to feel the pressure here because those are 2 powerful ultimates they no longer have access to. Wildcard surely feeling that this is their opportunity. They have to deny the Drake, and there it is.
All right, you've got, oh my goodness, you've got Zamudo behind as well. Saligo going for the deep flank. Oh my goodness, what has Wildcard been cooking here? I start to smell a little bit of smoke maybe as they pull away.
We'll see. Remember, kill for Wildcard. That's the first thing they need. Keel needs to reset. Saligo wants to make use of that Lissandra passive, and you can see Maryville. They're afraid to get caught.
Getback has to be the man marker here, but he doesn't know he has 2 people on him. He goes golden. Maryville turn back around. Dombray's coming to save the day. Double brain entrance. This is big Saligo. He's locked down. Flamed respite. Look at that blade collar from Lens. The equalizer's not enough. Wildcard! They've just dashed the hopes of the Saints. They've clipped their wings, and they've destroyed Maryville.
That's the comeback that we needed to see from this team. This is why they are some members of this broadcast. Dark horse in the bottom bracket. You can see it. Wildcard were down 7,000. And not only do they prevent the Soul Lennon, they win the team fight.
Heartbreaking, heart-wrenching, devastating, all the words you could ever ask for Maryville, and it just doesn't go their way. Wildcard picked them apart piece by little piece.
And you can see it. It's Donbray and Saligo again syncing up there. Saligo able to just consistently get all his utility off, buy so much time, and once Keel finally gets the reset, I'm pretty sure his first one of the game, he is able to finally give Wildcard the strength that their comp offers.
I'm going to be checking in on that double soul composition here pretty soon with you, Beatdown, because we got to find a name. It has come online, and so has the Turo Baron buff for Wildcard.
And now this gold lead has swung so much. Remember, Maryville up 7,000. Now 5K in favor of Wildcard. That is a 13,000 gold swing. I want y'all to sit with that for a second. What Wildcard have been able to do this game to catch up is nothing short of incredible. And now Maryville, tournament lives on the line. They are feeling the pressure. You're seeing it in how they try and step up to these objectives, try and force some of the plays we saw before that Drake.
It becomes so hard, though, when you're faced up against a moment like this, when you have now a full item build for Zamudo. Yes, you just got your Bloodthirst for Auto Orange, a little bit of survivability, but it just feels like that tempo is all in favor of Wildcard, and they will take that and run with it. You've got the GA for Lens now. They are just trying to break the base down as best they can, but it's still always looking for these picks.
That's right, and Wildcard, even though Maryville still are really strong right now, the fact is Wildcard have the severe gold advantage, which means that it's going to be easier for them to get on top of Maryville, win fights, and play them out the way they want to.
Auto Orange trying to find Saligo there on the side. It is now Siege City as Wildcard have made their break onto the inhib in top side of the map. You got Saligo just trying to push out this mid lane here. Zamudo waiting in the wings with that going rogue. And Scout of the Week will not connect, but Maryville will survive the siege once again.
They'll hold on for now, but there's still a minute 20 left on this buff. And the way these waves are not quite synced up, but almost, is going to mean that this base rather for Maryville is going to be broken into it. You can see it, the desperation. Lennon, they're trying to make a move on whoever they possibly can. Zyko looking for Hex Splash plays to get an opportunity to use the Solar Flare. You need to use that range advantage to make the difference in these fights for Maryville. They haven't been able to do that these last 5-10 minutes.
Oh, Zamudo, you're in some trouble now. He's all by himself trying to sneak away that inhib. He just gets blown out of the water. That'll be an inhib tower mid going down, though. It's Wildcard trying to escape now. Scout of the Week actually connects on the Donbray, but he'll make it away.
So it's one for the inhibitor. I will say that is worth, because I don't think Maryville are going to be able to do much. Just push out this mid wave a little bit further. But the supers pushing bottom, having that wave auto go forward in favor of Wildcard will be so beneficial, because Lennon, what's coming up in a minute's time? The only objective to fight for on the map, another Ocean Drake. And even without the soul, 3 in a row from Wildcard will offer them so much healing, which is big against this long-range, more poke-style comp that MU have. And it will now bring them up to Soul Point as well.
Can I just say, we're 40 minutes in, and it has been the exact bare-knuckle boxing we expected from these two teams. While it has definitely gone in favor of Wildcard as momentum has shifted, Maryville Wildcard have shown us that they are two of our grittiest teams. They will not give up until the moment is nigh. And Wildcard are trying to get that beautiful comeback in this game itself, while Maryville going to put a stop to that one. Dragon coming up very shortly.
And you can see it, both these teams, they're fishing. They're looking for any angle, any opening. They are throwing out their spells to see what is going to land first. Remember, Maryville during the last Dragon fight, they were scared to move into Wildcard. Wildcard are just going to rush this Dragon, and they just take it very quickly.
Geel gets tagged there. Not going to find it, though. Guns coming in. Maryville kind of want to take this one. Geel doesn't really have a way out except for the Heartbreaker. We'll end up using that one. As Wildcard realized they could have just gone with that Dragon, get out of that one, get some resets off. Auto Orange doesn't want to let that happen. Neither does Maryville. Geel's going to have to run away. They know he's over here. Niles have shown that he will flash for it before. And Keel will actually burn his, and Niles going for the deep one here.
No,
I don't know if they can get him, as they are going to lose their base if they do this.
Wow, the great escape, and it's like you said, so much space being bought, you're actually going to be able to take that bottom inhibitor down now. And Lennon, Wildcard, they did it again. They managed to burst that Drake. They managed to hold on tight. and Maryville for these last 10 minutes now. They haven't had an answer for Wildcard. We're getting to the point where gold leads don't matter anymore. Everybody is almost full build.
No.
Oh my god.
Lamb's respite's already popped on. Break goes back
Look at
in.
the knockup.
They're all in. The combo's there, and now you got the souls coming to life.
It's done.
I don't know if we're playing Dark Souls or League of Legends anymore, but it's Wildcard that wiped the fight. There's not anybody left but Get Back, and he should just go down to the rest of it. Maryville, their hopes are dashed. Their season is over, and Wildcard will triumphantly dismantle the Saints.
That's the team fight presence we wanted to see from Wildcard. That's the team who managed to punch up all through Spring Split, and this is the team that will advance through that lower bracket.
Our longest game of the summer playoffs, and it's fitting that it was the bare knuckle boxing between Wildcard and Maryville. But Maryville just didn't have what it takes and didn't have the gas in the tank. Wildcard absolutely had it, and they drove away with it every single time. My goodness, what a game to cap this series off, and one that Wildcard can be absolutely proud of. We're going to take a little break here. We're going to step away. On the other side, we have a Verizon post-game interview with the winners of Wildcard.
The LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo, the world's largest car-sharing marketplace. Find your drive.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, for our Verizon postgame interview. I have Keel, the victorious jungler from Wildcard, coming in after a swift 2-0, but you had to work for it in that second game. So first off, congratulations, Keel.
Thank you, thank you.
Now let's go back to that second game where things were down in the dumps. You were down, what, like 7K gold, something pretty insane. What was the team mental like in that moment, and how did you all keep it together?
Surprisingly really good. I think we've been like really working toward being mentally stronger. Like it's like a really big goal, and it finally like paid off. Just like probably the most resilient game we've had all split, yeah.
It showed on the Rift, specifically in Zamudo's play. I want to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about the teammates and how everyone's been coming together, especially in these big, stressful moments where members have to step up and kind of hard carry.
Zamudo did a really good job of carrying because he tends to be a lot like quieter, reserved. I think we're kind of trying to lean into him a bit, like make sure we're like playing around him, make sure he like feels good in his matchups, and just like on Akshan, being able to deal damage is a big factor too. Zamudo is great at farming and dealing damage, so making sure he's able to do that.
The Akshan pick was unique. Any expectation we'll see more of that later on in the tournament?
I hope so. I beg for Akshan every game, man.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll have to see if he keeps pulling that out. Was it just matchup dependent? That's why he pulled it up?
Kind of, yeah. Kind of not many picks in the Rumble that are like able to do what Akshan does, so yeah, they fit our draft well.
All right, well, I'll be crossing my fingers that more people pick Rumble into you then. You did drop into the lower bracket a little earlier than you would hope for, so I'm curious what the approach was coming into this game. Did the team approach it any differently, knowing that this is your last life from this point forward in the tournament?
We definitely changed like some ways we're thinking about our team, and like just like after our Fear series, like approaching things differently. And I think the practice and like just the idea is proving to be a lot better. Like even initially beginning the split, I didn't think Maryville was actually that bad of a team. I thought they were like even slightly better than they ended, and then they kind of fell apart, similar to us. So I'm glad we were able to get our shit together, and I think we're coming back pretty strong.
I don't want you to leak any strats that happen behind the scenes, but would you be able to share maybe any concrete examples of what you worked on as a team in preparation for this match?
Against Fear, we like crumbled. It kind of felt like we, either because of draft or just the way we were thinking was like flawed, and it just didn't fit who we were. Like is like the game one, they had like a bunch of poke, and we were like the ones who had to like go on them, and we just didn't do it correctly, and it just fell apart. So I think our drafts are a lot more cohesive for who we are and what we all like to play. Seems like a lot of teams are all picking their one tricks come playoffs, so we're just leaning into, yeah.
Sure. Well, up next on your horizon, I mean, speaking of playoffs, you're still in it. FlyQuest Challengers is your next opponent, the second seed. I want to get your quick thoughts on Yuji, your jungle opponent, and also the matchup for a team-by-team side.
This question was asked to him, and didn't say anything nice. I don't really think anything of him, and he has an LCS support, so we're gonna win.
I love it. I love it. Clapping back a little bit. I'm not sure if you noticed, but at the top of the show, we did go through our number 3 for most valuable prospect list. You were number 3 coming in
really?
through the vote, so I want to give a congratulations to you, Keel, making top 3.
Thank you.
I want to give you a chance to reflect on the split. This is a regular season award, so we weren't factoring in any playoffs performances. But how'd you feel your split went?
I think the split went pretty well for myself individually. I think I improved like the small couple of things that I had like, been consistently doing wrong. And I think I really just understand like the full picture of like just how to play, what I need to do. And then I think a lot of our struggles toward the end of the split were just team related. And I definitely had my moments where I was like really not playing well, but I think I really think we can just get ourselves back together and win the whole tournament.
That would be a great journey for you. I know that your goal is making it to that LCS as the next step, so strong performances in these kind of tournaments can turn heads for the people that make the decisions at that level. And on that note, I like to end on a fun one, but first I got to ask you, what is the most boring jungle champion for you personally, either in the meta or just in general? That's going to be like kind of the lead into my next question.
I'll go with Sejuani, honestly.
Sejuani.
Yeah.
All right, boring champion, very meta, or like kind of impressive when it is in the meta. So my hypothetical question for you is I give you $1 million in a briefcase right now in cash untaxed. A lot of money. But for the rest of your LCS career, your future LCS career, you can only play Sejuani. Do you take the money?
I think I can't take it if I'm trying to win.
Ooh, too
So
obvious in Big Ban, right?
I'm going to have to decline now.
All right, he commits to winning LCS more than the money. Another reason why you should be looking at Keel going forward. Thank you so much for coming on, Keel. Best of luck continuing on in the tournament. And yeah, have fun preparing for FlyQuest, man.
Of course, we will 2-0.
All right, you heard it from him. Now we're going to send it to a short break before we are back for our second series of the day. We'll see you there.